It is Saturday night race night at the Talladega Super Speedway here in Talladega, Alabama. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the iRacing Stock Car Association Tucson Sound Art Cup Series here on a Saturday night. It is going to be an entertaining race, I would hope, throughout the course of the night. A smaller field than what we saw on Thursday, but hey, anything can happen at the biggest and baddest track of the NASCAR circuit. My name is Ola Rappel. I'll be bringing you tonight's race coverage from start to finish with Rob Meldick down behind the cameras as acting technical director for tonight's race. Jay Hone currently topping the boards in qualifying, finishing up his 2 laps, setting the fast time as 50.019. Joshua Watson and Brian Watson were second and third, just 3 thou apart, before John Mustian Jr. goes second fastest after setting the 6th fastest time on his opening lap. That is going to leave just Greg Wyszynski and Pedro Hendrick that have yet to complete their laps as well before we can get tonight's race underway. So just under a minute left in qualifying, or coming up to it. And for the most part, drivers have completed their laps. And I will say this race, we're expecting this one to be a bit more of a calmer race than I believe what we saw over on Thursday, just a few days ago with that 36-car grid. But that doesn't mean that we can just settle back and enjoy some nice, calm racing together. I know that we might have a 10-car field today, providing that another driver can work his way in. I know Frank Flores is also present tonight, currently sitting second to the bottom. Flores is one of those drivers who we have not been seeing too much of the Thursday Cup Series, but has been seeing what he can do in the Saturday Night Cup Series. And Robert Pattengale has just entered the facility as well. Of course, the sponsor for the Saturday Night Cup Series as well. So huge props to Tucson Sound for being able to make this Saturday Night Cup Series possible. Taking a look at Greg Wyszynski, currently on his opening lap of qualifying, but with just 15 seconds on the clock, the likelihood that he'll be able to actually get a lap in is going to be slim to none. So qualifying is just about to wrap on up here in about 5 seconds time. We'll take a quick step away. We'll be back with the starting grid in just a few moments. And now we are back with the starting grid for the Rock Auto 250 here for the Tucson Sound Art Cup Series round number 3 at the Talladega Super Speedway. It is Jay Hone to start it off on pole position with a 50.019. John Mustian Jr. We lined it up beside him on the front row down in second place. It's Joshua Watson and Brian Watson, third and fourth, just 0.003 of a second separating the Watsons. Martin Bourque is going to be in the 5th position to round out the top half of the field. Chris Johnson lines up beside him in 6th. Frank Flores is the last driver to set a qualifying lap, though he is over 2 seconds off of Chris Johnson's time, down in 7th place at the 52.082. That is, of course, going to leave Greg Wyszynski starting in 8th place. Pedro Henrique in 9th. Robert Pattingale jumping in at the buzzer. Will be rounding out the top 10 and, of course, the field for tonight's race as well. So on the back straightaway for the one and only time before we go green flag racing. And, of course, some of the guys that might not be familiar necessarily with the Saturday Cup Series. A lot of new names and a lot of new colors out there today as well. Jay Hone flashed a notably retro scheme, running the old 38 car, which I believe was the 2 machine that was ran with Kurt Busch back in 2010, if I am not mistaken. That was one of the years when I started to really get into NASCAR myself. So we'll see what Jay Hone will be able to do. Of course, teamwork is everything on to the night. And you got a couple of shake and bake racing teammates of Frank Flores and Robert Pattingale out there. I know you got JLB making a presence here as well. So we'll be able to see what they'll be able to make for themselves here tonight as well. I want to correct myself on that. That's JBR that is currently here tonight, headed up by Brian and Joshua Watson, who have locked out the second row. Coming off of turn number 4, just a few moments away from getting tonight's race underway. 94 laps to 150 miles waiting ahead of us. The pace car is down and in. That being said, it is still a long way throughout the rest of the field to see if they can work themselves up to the restart zone. And we will be waiting on the iRacing starter. And of course, Jay Hone will be leading them down to the green. And the green flag drops. We are underway from Talladega, and John Mustian Jr. with a launch around the outside line. So he is immediately going to go up to the wall. Cuts back down in front of Brian Watson as they dive into turns 1 and 2 for the first time today. Question is, how quickly do the single file out, and does anybody really want to work together in this 10-car grouping? Joshua Watson is looking to maybe link up with Jay Hone at the inside line. But look at the run that top line is getting. Brian Watson trying to poke around the 0-1 machine, and looks like he'll be giving the bump to the back of Mustian Jr. if he's able to get to him. It is still side by side for the first 4 rows. Row number 5, headed up by Henrique and Pattingale, has single filed out already, and they're kind of ready to all by their lonesome. A couple drivers already getting squirrely on. Frank Flores almost making contact with Martin Bourque coming out of turn number 4, but they managed to keep things settled. So up in front, it is John Mustian Jr. to lead the opening lap. Chris Johnson is going to duck in line in the G&G Racing 48 car. That's going to send Bourque up the track. A bit too high, though. Tried to link up with Brian Watson. Didn't end up going so well for him. Will he look back to the inside? Tries it. But Flores is already there, sticking the nose into the number 28 car. Not able to get down to the inside is the 0-4. So already we're single filed out for a good portion of this field. It's a 2-car breakaway up in front with Mustian Jr. and Jay Hone looking to work together. Chris Johnson heads up the rest of the field in the 48 machine. The G&G Racing Southern Spiral Pipe 4 Mustang doing good work out there alongside, or just in front of Shake and Bake Racing's Frank Flores, who has been putting in a few strides lately along with Robert Pattingale in some of these races. And now it's a 4-car breakover for the lead. And with all the side draft we're seeing further in the tail end of the field, which it's what we're looking at now, it's going to be hard pressed for these guys to catch up to them pretty soon here. There's a move up in front, though. Chris Johnson going for some of the glory, though, in the 48 car. That's going to stall out, though. Flores does not go with the 48 car. So Flores picks up 3rd, and it's a swap for positions. And we're already hearing trouble for John Mustian Jr. in the 8 car. Forgot to change setups. It is an open setup series. You are allowed to alter your setups as you please. Most likely still running the qualifying trim. So Mustian Jr. moving up and out of the way, likely running a bit of excess tape on there, so might be at a risk of blowing up in the number 8 car. He'll have to come down pit road and get that changed ASAP. So Mustian Jr. is having some real struggles early on. And yeah, there it is. Just heard it over the driver radio. Mustian Jr. overheating bad. So the 8 car is going to have to come down all by himself, which is always a race killer when you get to tracks like these. The good news, he does have 2 stage cautions that he'll be able to use to work his way back up to the front there. He's got stage 1 at the end of lap 20, and then stage 2 not until 57. Same stage that we run in the Thursday night race. So Jay Hone is going to move to the lead this time as Musty Jr. makes that dive down on a pit road to get the setups changed. It's going to be a longer stop as well for the 8 car, as he is not going to be able to, just get his tires and go. He's got to back out of the car, change the whole setup around before he's able to properly get a run. Bit of side-by-side action further in the back of the field. Greg Wyszynski dropping down the order. Just got passed by Pattengale along with Watson. John Watson going down the inside along with Martin Bourquet, looking to maybe link up with the 6 car. The Napa Chevrolet, seeing if he can maybe do something with a Gas and Go Racing Camaro just up in front of him. If they can link up together, it might be able to reel in that 4-car train. That's about another 10th and a half or so up to the top 3, who are still running nose to tail. And this is the sight that we can, get used to seeing throughout this race, as we're already a quarter of the way through stage 1, 5 down, and about 89 to go. This is like we can be used to be seeing, these single-file draft trains are a common occurrence, especially in lower fields like these. So this can be what we can expect from the remainder of the race tonight. Catching up to John Musty Jr. in just a little while. And we will be able to get with that in just a few moments. We'll take a quick step away, and we'll give another shout out here to Tucson Sound Art, and we'll be with you in just a moment.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, falling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
The field of cars is once again 10 strong. John Musty Jr. just got lapped by the rest of the field just one corner ago. A couple of drivers looking to step out and maybe make some moves. You can see Martin Bourquet went up to try to work with Chris Johnson. He was trying to link up, I think, with Pedro Henrique's draft. It was just a little ways up the road, but the run didn't really go anywhere. As a result, the bottom 3 cars have found themselves stalling out. Now, Chris Johnson has been able to reel in the rest of the path. The same could not be said for Martin Bourquet, who has actually started to drop off the field. And you can see now Gas and Go is starting to work together here. That 2-car train on the outside line, headed up by Greg Wyszynski, is going to start to try to make some moves, but I don't know how well this is going to work. You're only a 2-car tandem. You're going to have to do some serious pushing to make this one work. I know Chris Johnson is one of the better pushers in the ISCA. Now, that being said, Greg Wyszynski doesn't have a lot of momentum to work with up in front. You got the initial push that you might be able to get off the corners, and of course, what you'd be able to get from, a bit close there with the 0-1 of Joshua Watson. But going back to what I was mentioning before, it's hard to get a run if it's just 2 cars, especially in such a draft-dependent train such as this one. You really need at least 3 or 4 guys to even start to make a proper run. So I have a feeling these Gas and Go crew, they're going to have to wait for a couple of the other guys that might not necessarily be in their team to go up to help them out here. That doesn't mean they're not going to try, though. Wachinski looking around the outside line of Joshua Watson, still fighting it out with that 0-1 machine. Scored as the 5, by the way, on the timing ticker, but 0-1 on the car. So I feel like supposed to be scored as the 0-1, considering Greg Wachinski is usually the 5, and this happened to be a little bit of a number mix-up this week. So here's some of the help that I think that G&G group was looking for. Martin Bourquet is looking to maybe link up with to make it a 3-car train around the outside line. John Munstein Jr. has announced he is going to just kind of hang around in the back, does not want to necessarily be up in the front of everything, especially when he is a lap car. He realizes he's got another stage coming up in just about 10 laps here. No point in really fighting really hard. You're not going to gain anything by it. It's not like you're going to be able to unlap yourself and be able to actually make up any positions without a caution. So it's a wise move, I think, from Munstein. Just take it easy. You'll be able to have to take a run at it in stage 2. Currently riding on board with the number 6 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. So he's able to pull up alongside the 04 Brian Watson, but that's about as far as he gets. He doesn't tend to get too much further than that. That's where he just stalls out. The inside line just starts to pull away. If he can get a bit of a push from Chris Johnson behind, maybe. And so far, that push is it's yet to come. Some beautiful flyby shots from the Talladega Super Speedway, showing just how fast even a field of 10 cars can move. I mean, we're talking topping out at around 202, 205 miles an hour, even in just this little group of 10 so far through every single straightaway. Chris Johnson goes back to the low side along with Greg Wachinski. A bit of a swap. Joshua Watson moves up high, takes Brian Watson with him. Bourquet still going to hold the outside as well. Now here comes Wachinski and Johnson. Now we're starting to see some of the strategy playing out. It's a 5-car train looking to link up on the top line. That might be enough to actually make a run for the race lead. The inside line is a bit disconjointed at the moment. You got Munstein Jr. and Robert Pattigill trying to hook up with the top 3 in front of Henrique Flores and Home, but not able to necessarily get together because they don't have the draft. Bad bump from Chris Johnson pushed Wachinski up the track and nearly pushed that 6-car into the outside wall. Look out for Pedro Henrique, going to go up to block the run. Wachinski gonna go low, and Chris Johnson will try to follow, abandoning the 41 car. The outside line contact, pulling in the rear. Pattigill and Brian Watson gonna make it 3 wide in the middle of turn number 3, getting a little bit tight for comfort in the middle of this grouping. Keep your eyes, though, up on Greg Wachinski, because that 6 car is looking to go to the front. Has that run around the 28 car of Frank Flores. Gonna push his way up to second. With Chris Johnson helping him out, might even be able to go for the race lead. All that mess has really broken up this pack. You can see just how disconjointed everybody is in behind. Everybody's in these little 2 or even 1-car groupings, just trying to get themselves organized again. Hone is going to come up to work with the top 3. Wachinski not having anything up. He's going to go back low. Hone can't defend. So Gas and Go Racing, they go from the back of the train. They're going to be going up now to take up a 1-2 position. And just in time, 2. 5 to go in stage 1. Couple of other guys are looking to make moves further in the back. That is the Watsons. Once again, trying to work together, the 0-1 and the 04. See what they can do. They saw what Gasco was able to do, but they got a lot of the run from guys trying to come to block the run, seeing how fast they were coming up when they were a 5-car train. It has not been necessarily the way they would have liked, and the Watsons are going to have to fall back in line here. Jay Hone going to look to the outside line to try to get a run of the leaders. Flores does not go with him, though. The 28 car moves up to third, and Jay Hone will be falling back. He'll have to slide in here right in front of Brian Watson. Watson goes high to try to get the run. Wachinski flirting with the top line. Interesting move from the 6th car. I wonder if he's trying to just cool the car for a little bit or allow Chris Johnson to probably cool his machine off. Chris Johnson has been the pusher so far throughout the entire run. No doubt his oil and water temperature is starting to run, I think, a little bit higher than I think would be in the optimal range. So far, he is willing to help out his Gas-A-Go teammate just in front of him. Taking a look top to bottom so far in the top 10 as we come to 3 laps to go in stage number 1. Wachinski up in front. Chris Johnson second. Flores third. Go fourth with Cole rounding out the top of the field. Brian Watson and Josh Watson end out the first train. The bottom 3 have split up big time. Pedro Henrique is now in 8th place. Martin Bourquet just making the pass up for 8th. Henry will fall down to 10th. As John Mustian Jr. picks up 9th from the outside line. How about Jay Hone looking to the top side along with the Watsons? Trying to see if he can find a run. No dice. Pit road closes this time by as soon as the leaders cross start finish. As is customary with stage racing here at the ISCA. Hone makes another look to the outside line. Pit road officially closed. 2 laps to go in stage 1. Joshua Watson looks like he wants to lead the Watson duo, but will have to fall back. Brian Watson holding strong. It's that kind of dicing back and forth. I kind of split this field up in the first place and caused the top 3 or the bottom 3, excuse me, to lose touch. Outside goes Brian Watson. Looks like they will go for the switch as we enter the final lap on stage 1, but with where Jay Hone is, there's no room for Brian Watson to tuck back in. So you got Gas-A-Go working together up in front. You've got the shake and bake teammates of Robert Pattengill and Frank Flores going to be working together as well as we get to round out stage number 1. So how aggressive is 17 to 28 going to be? They've already backed off a little bit, which tells me they might try to make a run at them. But here comes the Watson duo trying to see if they can make a run on anything. But Jay Hone is going to go to the inside line and abandons Joshua Watson on the outside. Out of turn at number 4. Chris Johnson showing the nose, but not going to go for the move. Greg Wachinski will be pushed around, and he will win the opening stage. So stage 1, Greg Wachinski takes first place. Chris Johnson second. Frank Flores third. Pattengill fourth. Hone fifth. The Watson duo in 6th and 7th with Martin Bourquet 8th. Pedro Henrique. John Mustian Jr. 1 lap down. So with stage 1 done and dusted, we'll take a quick step away and we'll be back with, hopefully, pit stops coming up next. Yellow flag pit stops underway and drama in pit road. Greg Wyszynski hit up the backside by his own Gas and Go Racing teammate of Chris Johnson. So drama on pit road between two of the teammates, the only G&G drivers working together today. That has caused Wyszynski to slide through his box, and he's going to be falling all the way down the order, and now his rear bumper damage as well that he's going to have to contend with. So that is not good news for your Stage 1 winner. Out of pit road, Frank Flores leads the race off. Chris Johnson picks up second, and Robert Pattingale is in third. Watson fourth, Brian Bourquet in sixth. So not a good run at all for the Gas Go driver of the number 6 car. And speaking of Greg Wyszynski, we're going to see if we can maybe dial up your Stage 1 winner, Greg Wyszynski. You joining us up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Nolan. What's up?
Well, I'm going to start with the elephant in the room, the melee on pit road. What happened there?
You know, it's the craziest thing. It's, normally if your car's anywhere near your pit box or pit, the pits in general, nobody can hit you. It must have been just a split second there. Chris thought I was in my pit box. So did I. I don't know what happened. Crazy.
Well, despite that, it looks like you got most, if not all, the damage repaired to your back out there on the circuit. And Stage 1 is in your back pocket. Of course, you're a bit of a ways off from your Caxigo teammate at the moment. What's the plan to try to link up with him quickly?
I mean, I did it last stage where I came from the back, so I'm pretty sure I can do it. It's just, I was trying to use the high side, and not too many people want to go up there. So it seemed like towards the end of that stage, more people wanted to go to the high side. So we'll see what happens. I think I'll be all right. I'll get back up there.
And of course, Stage 2, you're going to have to make that pit stop. It is the longest green flag run we have all race long. Ended at lap 57. What do you think the overall plan is going to be for a lot of guys? Pit early to get the pit stop out of the way, or run the tank dry?
I mean, I'm for pitting early, so I'm sure Chris and I will be on the same page on that.
Well, there you have it. So we'll see if that strategy will end up playing on out. I know a couple of the other guys might choose to go with you. It only takes one to kind of set off the train. Well, Greg, thanks for joining us up here in the broadcast booth. Looks like you're going to be going 1 to green this time by. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for us?
So all my guys at G&G Racing do awesome work making setups every week and have a lot of fun racing together. And thank you guys.
And thank you, Greg, for taking time out of your race to come on up and join us up here in the booth. Congratulations on a Stage 1 win. Go get him in Stage 2.
Yes, sir.
That was Gas Go Racing's Greg Wyszynski bringing it home with a Stage 1 victory. Minor damage in pit road as a result of a hit from Chris Johnson. Now, the rear end damage that Wyszynski still has, which is minimal at best, it's not my biggest concern. A bigger concern, I would think, is Chris Johnson's nose. It's not necessarily looking all that pretty. The 48 car kind of scraped up the front end a little bit with that hit. It's not a very pleasant thing, and see if we can maybe rotate the drone cam around and even maybe get a shot of it. There you go. You see all that damage over on the front nose. It's might mean aerodynamic affections or affecting the downforce, that is, not to mention horsepower limitations. Always a race killer at tracks like Talladega. Speaking of race killers, John Mustin Jr. has departed from the race, electing not to take the Lucky Dog free pass. I believe the number 8 car want to spend time with the family. And I can't say I blame him. It's one of those things you got to just take some time and remember what's important in life every now and again. So lights are out on the pace car. This time by Wyszynski, winner in Stage 1, trying to go back-to-back in Stage 2. Of course, he'll have to link up with his teammate, I would imagine, first. So Frank Flores from the Shake and Bake Racing will have his teammate Robert Pattingale just in behind. They'll like to be coordinated with each other to try to get the best restart they possibly can out of this one. Pace car is going to make that pull down to pit road. The 9-car field getting set to go back racing. Stage 2 ending on lap 57. That is in 33 green flag laps. Field window around 26. And Flores takes the traditional way of taking it late, waiting for the iRacing green. We're back underway from Dega. Bit of a misshift from Frank Flores gives advantage to Chris Johnson in the outside lane. But when they're coming up through the gears through 1 and 2, That inside line is where you're going to want to be. And Robert Pattingill has just linked up with Frank Flores, but it might have been too little too late. Chris Johnson trying to get the drive off thanks to Joshua Watson. Dead heat down the back straightaway for the 25th time today. But as I suspected, Chris Johnson not able to make a whole lot of that outside lane. And so, looks like lap 1, stage 2 will go to the 28 Camaro of Frank Flores. One by one, cars start trickling down to the inside line. The first of them was Jay Hone, and Pedro Henrique was the next driver to come down. Just try to come up again to block the run from Chris Johnson. No dice, though, for the 41 as you watch Frank Flores up there in front. One of the newer leaders on the day. Only led 4 laps, all of them, since he came out of pit road under the stage 1 caution. We saw Robert Pattingill put in a good performance on Thursday, so I would expect the Shake and Bake guys to be a force to reckon with. There is Brian Watson, trying to poke around the outside line. But he's going to have to drop back, I would imagine. He's got no help. Wachinski and Johnson have managed to link up. You see them ripping the top line at the moment into turn number 3. Trying to just do what they can, keep everything nice and settled. Never a bad idea. Time in these races. Unfortunately, the push might have come too early. Wachinski and Johnson now running 8th and 9th, or check that, 7th and 8th in the field. Only backed up by Martin Bourquet near the back. Joshua Watson and Brian Watson both with the run. They're going to look high on Jay Hone. We've seen this before, though, with no help for the Watsons up on the top side. That means it should be a relatively easy run for them to be able to drop back into the field. That being said, Jay Hone is going to link up with them. Martin Bourquet also going to try to go up with the rest of the field. They can just link onto the draft and make this a 4-car train. They might actually be able to make some headway, but they have to link up first, and at the moment, it doesn't look like they're willing to do that with each other. Chris Johnson losing the draft on the bottom lane thanks to the side draft from the Watsons. Wachinski going to go up to block the run. 4-car train on the outside line. Chris Johnson will try to make it 5, I would imagine. The inside lane a bit disconjointed. Gassigo Racing is getting set to maybe make a run at the front. Pattingill has not been able to link up with Flores at the moment, so it is just Wachinski and Hone that are going to be set to try to take this train up to the front line. Pedro Henrique is still trying to work the inside lane with Chris Johnson, and they're trying to link up with the top two. Oh boy. Henrique pushing up from the bottom lane. Nearly getting into it with Joshua Watson, but look at Greg Wyszynski, thanks to that huge run, out of turn number 2. Pulling alongside Frank Flores to try to gun for the race lead. Oh, Flores coming up from the bottom lane, and someone neutralizes the run, but it's not going to be enough. Greg Wyszynski going to be going to the front. The lead shifts back to the number 6. Look at Pattingill linking up with Frank Flores for the inside line. You saw from the side shot. Huge shove for Flores down the back straightaway. Wyszynski still can't do anything but maintain the top line and hope that it can come into play. I think Wyszynski's issue at the moment is the fact that he's linked up and he's ready to go, but nobody else behind is as coordinated as I think he would like to be. If it was Chris Johnson that's trying to push him instead of Hone, I imagine they would already be at the front and pulling away. See Wyszynski trying to apply some of the side draft to the 17 Mustang down low. Trying to get a little bit of a side draft going. Try to reel back that second lane. That first lane. He is able to pull ahead on these straightaways. And that's very crucial because if he can still be in front by the exit of the tri-oval, the race may as well be won for him. Because that's where it really counts. And so far, he has led the last several laps. Finally breaks clear for the first time today in this run. But he is not going low. But he's going to keep to the outside line and try to pull as much of this second train around with him as he can. So Joshua Watson getting a little bit out of line, causing Brian Watson to have to back off, and that stalls out that second train. Wyszynski missed his chance to clear for the lead and hop back down in front of Frank Flores. Just in behind, Chris Johnson going side by side with Pedro Henrique. It's a bad call for the 48 car, if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys. I mean, you've just almost cost yourself. In fact, you may have cost yourselves the draft up to the leaders. And, in fact, cost yourself a win at potentially stage 2. Wyszynski is once again pulled out in front of the head of the field. This time he does clear to the inside and takes Jay Hone with him. See that outside lane trying to utilize the air bubble you can get from the wall as much as they can. Then diamond it off into turn number 3. 20 laps remaining in stage 2. Drivers have been out there on these stints for about 15 laps now, but that is including the few laps they had under caution. Which means we're about halfway, or just over halfway through the estimated fuel run. Now, when I talked with Greg Wyszynski under the Stage 1 caution, he mentioned pitting early worked for them at Talladega just this past Thursday. There might be a call to do it again, but he isn't linked up with Johnson at the moment, which I think the reason why he might be a little bit more hesitant on that front. Not to mention a 2-car pack is never going to be able to be as much, it's not going to be able to be as great as necessarily a 7-car pack. Single filed out now throughout the entirety of the field, and while we are just waiting on further updates throughout the field, as Pat Gill dips all 4 wheels below that yellow line, I'll take a quick step away, and we're not going to go to commercial just yet. We'll just take a flyby, so we'll let you listen to the sweet, sweet sounds of 550 horsepower. Here comes the run of the top side. Brian Watson is linked up with Joshua Watson. They're going to be going up high, and here we might be getting some guys down to the lane here pretty soon. And right on cue, here comes everyone except for the Watson duo coming down a pit road. Wojcinski is in. Frank Flores trying to pass up Jay Hone on the way to enter pit road. And even Martin Bourquet tried to get on some 3-wide action deeper in the field, but there was no dice. Looks like everybody got down to pit road safe and sound. There you can see Henrique just running around in the field behind. He dropped off some time ago. So Wojcinski is the first driver down on pit road, and we'll see if he'll be able to lead them off as well. Trouble, though, for Martin Bourquet as he overshot his box. It's a fuel-only stop for Greg Wojcinski. That sees him out way in front of his teammate Chris Johnson. Flores and Pattengill coming out nose to tail in the Shake and Bake crew, so that's good news for them. Just behind, you see Jay Hone, and then there is Martin Bourquet exiting pit road as well. Brian and Joshua Watson have both still elected to remain on track, running their own 2-car train. And there you can see the Gas and Go teammates trying to link up with one another. And I tell you right now, Greg Wojcinski, he's dragging that brake. And he's dragging that brake because he wants to link up with Chris Johnson as quick as he possibly can before Shake and Bake can link up behind them. Take a ride from what it looks like just above Robert Pattengale's machine as those two specks up the road is the Gas and Go crew, now going 1-2. Now we just have to wait and see what the times are going to be comparing to each other when they come across the line, now that they will have done a full lap linked up with each other. And of course, don't discount Brian Watson and Joshua Watson, who are still running in a 1-2 pack just behind them. So coming across the line this time by, we'll compare the times. Around 49.5 seconds or so for G&G. But it's 49.3s for Flores and Pattengale. So they were about 2/10 quicker that last lap by. That being said, Joshua Watson and Watson were even quicker the last time through. They're about to link up here with Jay Hone as well, which would be crucial if they can make a 3-car train. If they can catch up to the Shake and Bake crew, Gas and Go might not be as safe as they might hope up in front. And it looks like this actually might work out here. I know the Watson brothers, or the Watson duo, excuse me, they're trying to link up here with Jay Hone, I believe. Trying to see if they can bring in that 38 car into the fold. That would help them carry a bit of extra speed, which might even see them come out of the pits ahead of everybody else when they go down for their own pit stop, which is going to be in about 3-4 laps here even. So they're not going to catch up to the Shake and Bake crew by then. So they and Pedro Henrique, that's the group I'm kind of watching at the moment, just to see when they're going to come down to the lane. The way it sits right now, Jay Hone is the lucky dog driver. Martin Bourquet, well, he would be having to take another green flag stint a lap down. Brian and Joshua Watson, once again, electing to stay out on pit road. They're going to run these tanks until they're dry. Pattengale and Flores are continuing to close in on Gas and Go. Last lap through, still about a 10th quicker. 49.1s for Shake and Bake. Gas and Go, 49.2s. So the gap is closing ever so slightly. They're about 2 seconds off of them at the moment. dead even at the stripe, and how about that for 2 different lap times? Rob Pangale and Frank Flores, this last lap by, both of them ran 49.284s. That is honestly something else. Talk about being in sync with each other. The fact that you're able to match lap times down to the 1,000th. That's impressive. Top 2 are coming in this time by Brian Watson and Joshua Watson, finally making the trip down to pit road. 4K staying out, and they are going to be side by side into the pits. So now the only question for these 2 pairs is where are they going to be in relation to Gas and Go and Shake and Bake when they come back out of the pits? They leave relatively close together, which is good news. Crossed our finish line right there. Wachinski and Johnson currently coming around the tri-oval while they're still entering turn 1. I'm pretty sure that Gas and Go is about to be able to link up here with Joshua Watson and Brian Watson just up the road, which would be crucial for them, because that means they're finally able to break away from Shake and Bake just in behind. Problem is, Shake and Bake is still continuing to close. They just closed another 2/10 this last lap by. Actually turned out to be quite some race that we're seeing here. It's about the same gap that is separating all 3 groups, 1.7. From the Watsons to G&G, and another 1.7 back to Pat and Gale and Flores. A bit unnerving. It'll be 5 laps to go in stage number 2, this time by across the line. Now, if I'm Gas and Go up the road, and I want to go for a stage win, at this point, you're not going to be able to catch up to the Watsons. They are pulling away too much. They're too far ahead for you to get the draft. I would slow down a little bit, try to pick up Shake and Bake, pick yourself a 4-card train, and try to go to the front that way. You've got time to do it. You'd be able to catch them. Can't hurt it trying. Once again, the Shake and Bake crew, 2/10 quicker than Johnson and Wachinski this last time by. That gap is under 1.4 now. The rate they're going, they're going to catch them thanks to the draft by the end of the stage. 3 to go. Check that, 4 to go. Going to show why I almost failed math class in high school. I think they're taking my advice. I think they're dragging the brake just a touch. Their last laps by for G&G were 49.4s. Flores and Pattengill were a solid 49.1s. The gap is just over a second now. Now it's 3 to go. And as the Watsons cross the stripe, pit road closes. We are now 2 laps to go in the stage. Flores within drafting distance of Chris Johnson. Shake and bakes there. They're ready to party. She gets sucked up as they go into the 48s for the first time today. And they're going to breeze past G&G on the outside line. Oh, Pattingale thinking about going for some glory. Bit of a bad bump as he tucks back in. Nearly hooks Frank Flores into the outside wall. Taking that white flag now on the stage. Brian Watson currently heads up the lead. No time for the bottom 4 or the middle 4 to catch up to him. The only question now is going to be for the lead. Does Joshua Watson pull out and try to go for the win? I don't think he's going to have a good enough run, though. We'll keep our eyes on this. Shake and Bake has pulled slightly ahead of G&G, but we'll keep our eyes on the battle for the stage win. And Joshua Watson going for glory. Trying to get the run. Can he pull the side draft off to the tri-elbow? Watson clips the apron. Here comes Josh Watson. Gets him at the line. 7th out. Joshua Watson is going to take the stage 2 win. That puts Brian Watson in P3 and just waiting on the others. So Grabachinsky is in 3rd, Flores 4th, Johnson 5th, Pattingale 6th, Hone in 7th, Bourquet down in 8th. Pedro Henrique, meanwhile, bowed out. Now 8 laps down. We'll take another quick step away, and we'll be back with more from Talladega Superspeedway in just a few moments.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Well, sorry, folks. I was meant to be talking over these pit stops, but my microphone was not plugged in. Funny that. Pit stops are complete, though, under the caution flag. First one out. None other than Chris Johnson for Gas and Go. Well, with all of this said and done, we'll see if we can maybe dial up our Stage 2 winner. We'll see if we can maybe get a hold of Joshua Watson, winner of Stage number 2. Joshua, this is Nolan up here in the commentary booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, you take a win in stage number 2. I thought it was a bit of a bold call staying out there as long as you did when everybody else came down, but hey, bold calls sometimes work out.
Yeah, I knew I had my brother with me, so we were just trying to work together, and I didn't want to, only way you're going to win some of these races is to try to get off strategy, so that was our plan, and thankfully it worked out to where, me and him could race it out at the end there.
So what's going to be the plan here for stage number 3? It's actually going to be a shorter stage than stage 2 was, but you're still going to have to make a pit stop. Is the plan also going to run the tanks dry like you did in stage 2?
Yeah, kind of go off, see what everybody else is doing, and we got a strategy set in mind with the two of us to be able to work together. But as long as everything stays green and whatnot, I think we can hopefully try to pull off something similar, and that's going to be the goal, is hopefully to get back together on and off the pit road with excellent pit stops and get ourselves out front again.
Hopefully you'll be able to get yourself out in front, and hopefully you'll be able to pull off as exciting of a finish in the race as you did for stage number 2. Well, congratulations on a stage 2 win. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for your JBR number 01 Chevrolet?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ryko Motorsports, DA Design Studios, my mom, my dad, both my kids, my brother, my niece and nephew, and just everybody for their support behind this, along with the broadcast crew for putting this on, and ISCA for the league and everything.
Well, thank you for taking the time out of the race to coming up and join us here, Joshua. Congrats on a stage 2 finish, and best of luck in the third and final run.
All right, thank you.
That was stage 2 winner Joshua Watson joining us up here in the broadcast booth in his JBR Chevrolet. Look to see if he can maybe pull off a race win as well. So it's Chris Johnson who will head out the field. And of course, stage 2 winner lined up beside him on the front row. Brian Watson is down in P3. And it will be G&G teammate of Chris Johnson and stage 1 winner Greg Wychinski up in P number 4. Frank Flores is in 5th place with Jay Hone in 6th. Pat Gill 7th and Martin Bourquet in 8th. Pedro Henrique dropped out about 11 laps ago. Decided he had enough for one night. So continuing on the trend of losing about 1 car per stage. I want to give a huge shout out as well to Tucson Sound Art for making this series possible. Make some mighty fine artwork, if I do say so myself. It's good to have them aboard for yet another series. They definitely deserve to get their name out more frequently. Of course, it is a bit of a calmer race tonight than we're used to seeing. It's a bit of a side effect of having these, smaller fields, but I'm going to be honest, so far, I'd willing to bet that, this race has honestly almost been more entertaining than the Thursday race was with 36 cars. Imagine that. If you want to, join either the Thursday or the Saturday series, registrations are presently open, so if you think you're interested, give Kenny Powell a shout-out. He's usually here for the Saturday Night Cup Series. Of course, he is not available tonight. Decided to go to a wedding. So, give a message out to Kenny Powell on iRacing, or just apply to the leagues at the iRacing Stock Car Association Thursday or Saturday Cup Series over on iRacing. We'd be happy to have you. And, of course, like us on YouTube along with subscribing. Follow us on Twitch, and of course on Facebook if you haven't already. Pace car down and off. Chris Johnson bringing the field back for stage number 3. 33 laps to go. Talking about a bad launch with the outside lane. 3 of the 4 cars on the bottom side were already linked up right away, but already 2 of the guys from the top have abandoned the run. So both your stage winners, coincidentally enough, they've been left out to dry. Wychinski, stage 1 winner further in the back. He's just ditched the stage 2 winner, Joshua Watson. Also for the inside lane. It's another guy that likes moving up to the top. That's Brian Watson. No doubt going back to link up with his JBR teammate. We heard Joshua Watson saying when we interviewed him just a moment ago that he was wanting to see if they could figure out a strategy to work together with his teammate, and they already had a plan in mind. Looks like that plan doesn't require them to be up front early on. They were the two of the only 3 drivers. They were the only 2 guys up to speed that opted to stay out as long as they could and run their tanks dry. It could be seen as a similar strategy. It did pay off for them in Stage 1, coincidentally enough. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Outside line seems we wanted to open on up. We've been single file since the drop of the restart. Gremachinski heading up the effort. At first, it was only Jay Hone along with Barton Bourquet that were trying to open it up. They weren't having much success. Wachinski, though, has decided he's wanted to see what's up and see if they can maybe make it work. But so far, the effort has not necessarily been the most successful of ventures. That being said, down these straightaways, they are able to get some pretty good runs thanks to the side drive you get from the wall. They just need one more driver up with them, and it'd be perfect. Or, alternatively, they could just side draft the living crap out of that inside line, and that is what they appear to be doing. Brian Watson dropping back along with Joshua Watson. losing touch to the leaders up in front. The top three a little bit more disconjointed. Now, of course, Wachinski has a G&G teammate of Chris Johnson up there in the front. I wonder if this is an effort for Gas and Go to potentially get themselves linked back together. The Sign Draft effort does appear to be working on the inside line. They keep on pulling the Watson duo back, but they are not quite necessarily able to get the best of runs they would like to capitalize on that. And Martin Bourquet, I believe, has just lost touch to the draft. See him starting to drop back a bit more. And we go back single file. Not for very long, though. Wachinski's still going to be trying to work the line. First, you don't succeed. Try again. Still has plenty of time to make this work. 24 and a half laps right about now. Pit stops not due for another 15 to 20 laps yet. That being said, we are now technically within that window where if you come down pit road, you would be able to make it to the end. Chris Johnson still heads up this train. So far, there has been no moves from Shake and Bake to try to alter the running order. I think they're just content at the moment on saving a little bit of extra fuel. Run the tank dry, spend that much less time in pit road filling up. I think the call overall is going to be fuel only across the board. That'd be a smart call for me. I talked about this on Thursday's broadcast as well, that you can easily double stint the tires at a track like Talladega. If you're desperate, you can triple stint them. I don't recommend it. So fuel only seems like a very wise call considering how little time is left. Here comes the run from the outside line. Chris Johnson and Frank Flores bobbled a little bit up in front. That allowed Wachinski to get a bit of a run as the inside checked up. It's just not enough yet, though. And once again, the run stalls out for the Gas-A-Go number 2, and he will fall down to the inside line and go single file. Flores made the look for the lead, but opted to tuck back in behind Pattengale. Might have just gotten a little bit unsettled. Wachinski's still trying to work that top lane and has so far been making a bit more progress than he has previously. Right up to the right rear quarter panel of Pattengale. But immediately upon corner exit, fell back and fell into the clutches of Brian Watson. So far, this race has gone caution-free, which is about what we expected from a 10-car race at Talladega. It's relatively easy to have the more caution-free races when you just run around in a single-file grouping. Oh, how about that? The outside line really breaking up. Jay Hone ducked back down low, abandoning both Martin Bourquet and Greg Wyszynski up on the top side. Joshua Watts picks up a spot, and they're going to have to tuck in line. That might have just killed the run, though, from the outside line. Bit more moving around for the top two. Frank Flores and Chris Johnson getting a bit antsy out there at the moment. But apart from that, hasn't been too much of note. Okay, well, while we're watching the guys just run around there by themselves at the moment, I'm going to take a ride on board with Martin Bourquet in the 71 car. Pit stops underway. Gas and go and shake and bake coming down together, leaving the remaining 4 cars out on the field. Saw this last time. This grouping all came in together, except it was just the 2 drivers from JBR that stayed out. That's not the case this time round. Jay Hone along with Martin Bourquet stuck with him, making this pack effectively 2 different fields now of 4. Flores taking tires. Chris Johnson and Grebczynski already out and away. Pattengale and Frank Flores both taking rights only, and they are also off and away. So Gassico and Shakenbeck are both really split apart now. That's going to be bad news for them, as here comes the remaining 4 drivers to the tri-oval. That puts Jay Hone up to the lead. Martin Bourquet second, Brian Watson and Joshua Watson third and fourth. Out of turn number 2. Shakenbeck links up real early with each other. Pattengale dragging the brake a little bit to allow himself to hook up with Frank Flores. Same could not be said for Chris Johnson and Grebczynski. Just now they get linked up to the tri-oval, but the problem is Shakenbeck's already linked up by the time they hit turn 3. So the gap between these 2 groupings of 2 is about 5 seconds. The favor of speed at the moment, though, is Shakenbeck. And that could change if they decide to drop off a little bit more and enter the clutches of this group of 6 behind them. They can link up with these remaining 4 guys that are staying out. They could be able to get some serious speed underneath them and catch up to Gassico in no time. Jay Hone making the dive down the pit road. Bourquet into the wall and pushes out the 38. Calamity on pit entry. Martin Bourquet lost the back end, went in way too tight on entry, clipped the wall, and that sent him hard into the 38 car, slamming the 38 wide. That will almost certainly be a penalty for Jay Hone now, and Bourquet crashes again in pit road. Complete disaster for the 71. That pit stop went about as bad as it could have gone for them. Martin Bourquet in particular having a really rough time. They've been in there so long, they almost certainly have got penalties, the both of them, that they're both serving. Speed, I would imagine, for Bourquet. Unsafe pit entry, I'd imagine, for Hone. They're almost guaranteed to maybe lose as much as a lap as a result of this. Brian and Joshua Watson are still leading up the train. Jay Hone just now leaves pit road. And Bourquet has shut the car off. If the 2 Watsons are going to be coming down at any point, it's going to be on the next 3 or so laps. They're not going to be catching up to Pattengale. Pattengale and Flores, though, have slowly been reeling in the gap up to Grebczynski and Johnson. The gap is down about 4 seconds now, but it's kind of stagnated out. There have not been any major runs yet. Less than 10 laps to go on top of it all. Unbelievable. Bourquet is still in pit road. He's lost 2 laps now, and I have a feeling he's done for the night. You see the Shakenbeck crew, and that was just flying by the camera. Those are your race leaders. Brian and Joshua Watson just behind them. Still yet to pit for the 2 Watsons. currently got a 43-second gap over Wachinski and Johnson, but they still have yet to pit. Overall pit delta is about 36 seconds or 29, depending on how long you take in pit road. And, of course, if you take tires or not. If they come down for fuel only, they might just be able to beat out Gas and Go. Shake and Bake are no longer gaining like they were before on Gas and Go either. There you go, the top two coming down pit road. Oh, and big lock for Brian Watson on pit entry. Just barely got that thing slowed down. But hey, may as well smoke up the tires. You're not going to be using them anymore. Oh no! Brian Watson overshoots the box and ends up stopped in Joshua Watson's pit box. It all falls apart for JBR in the most crucial pit stop of the race with 7 to go. Watson is already off in the way before Brian Watson can even get himself tucked into his box. That basically opens the door wide open for Gas and Go to breeze through and take an easy victory. Out of pit road, you're going to watch as Wachinski and Chris Johnson, they're going to pass by Brian Watson from the inside. And that means Joshua Watson, your current race leader, is a sitting duck just up the road. Jay Hohen is linked up with Joshua Watson, so you might have a lapped car in the mix of this fight for the lead. Here comes Gas and Go. And let me guess, take the outside line? They do not. They have to tuck it in behind Jay Hohen and make it a 4-car train. I have a feeling they want to try to expand the gap they have over on P4. Brian Watson, along with Flores and Pattengill, a little ways behind. Jay Hohen, though, backs out from the main train. He's actually going to go to the back of this field, does not want to be mixed up in this. So Jay Hohen going to tuck it in into the line, hopefully behind this field. Heck, he might lose the draft here altogether and drop back to the second train. 5 to go. So Jay Hohen has effectively lost the draft from this top group, and he's starting to back off and fall into the clutches of Shake and Bake just in behind. If that can link up to be a 4-car train with 4th, 5th, 6th, and of course the lap down car as well, that could be a serious threat to G&G up the road. They've also left JBR vulnerable as well. And with 3 laps to go, we're not surprised when we saw Gas and Go work together. I'd be shocked if we didn't see Chris Johnson try to push Wachinski to a victory here. 2 laps remaining. The second train is still not formed up into the train of 4 that they need. At this point, they'd have to be 2 seconds quicker per lap. That is not going to happen. So it is going to be a 3-car battle for the race win. It'll come down to whether or not Wojcinski and Johnson want to act as teammates, or if they each want to go for the glory on the white flag. And the white flag is out. This race will go caution-free. It will end under regulation time. When does the move come? If I'm Greg Wojcinski, I make that move out of turn 4 coming through the tri-oval. Joshua Watson probably knows this, but he doesn't have anybody to help him out. Oh, here's the run. Look at Gassigo trying to go to the outside line. Watson tried to block, but he's got no help. Wojcinski powers through in turn number 3 to take the race lead away. Not quite clear yet, though. Comes down. Won't be enough. Chris Johnson also pushes through around the outside line. Does Chris Johnson try to go for the glory? That he does. Looks slow. Wojcinski goes down to block the run. And Chris Johnson cannot pick it back up. Greg Wojcinski wins the Rock Auto 250 at Dega. Chris Johnson, the push in turn 3 helped him out. Bit of a love tap after the line. JBR, the final driver on the podium with Joshua Watson. Shake and bake scores 2 cars in the top 5. So race number 3 on the 2021 Season 4 Saturday Cup Series is down. We'll take a quick step away, and we'll be back with more for the post-race.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
We're back with the Rock Auto 250 post-race show. Greg Wojcinski taking it home in a last lap pass around the outside thanks to teammate Chris Johnson in turn number 3. And Greg joins us now from Victory Lane, the number 6 car, bringing it home after this one. And you thank your teammate for that one, I would imagine, Greg.
Yeah, I can definitely help. Thank my teammate for that one for sure. He definitely helped me out there. I think the other Watson, he lost his drafting partner there. I think they might have had something for us at the end of stage 2 there. They were definitely faster than we were. So, yeah, thanks to Chris, big time.
overall, I have a feeling like patience was the main key so far. Of course, smaller fields means you can't exactly be as aggressive as you might have liked. What helps you to be patient inside a car like this when you're, in these longer green flag runs by yourself?
I don't feel like I was being patient on it. I was running on the outside a lot, trying to get a run. I mean, I was trying to make it exciting.
Well, it goes to show that sometimes it looks quite different compared to, from up here in the booth to down there in the car. And we always say you make it look easy. It never is easy, even at a track like this, especially at tracks like these, as a matter of fact. I imagine one track that won't be too easy is the Charlotte Roval coming up next week. We expect to see you out there for some road course action.
Yep, unfortunately, I'll be out there for sure. I don't mind that track. It's not a bad track.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to come out and get a good performance going as well at the Charlotte Roval for 55 laps. Should be an entertaining road course race as well. Well, Greg, as always, pleasure to being able to have you up here to talk to us. Anybody you'd like to shout out of your Gas and Go number 6 car before we let you go?
Well, definitely thanks to Chris again for pushing me to the win there, and all the other guys at G&G, ISCA, Kenny Powell puts it all together. You guys that do the broadcasting, great job.
Thank you, Greg, for taking the time to come on up here and join us on a Saturday night. And that'll move us right on down to the second driver into G&G 1-2 finish. Chris Johnson, you're standing by with us as the second driver in the G&G train.
Yes, sir.
Well, how is it out there for you? I know you weren't quite able to go on out and get a couple of stage wins yourself, but you were running up in the top grouping for most of the race all the same.
Yeah, just trying to have a little fun out there. Started getting a little worried towards the end because the Watsons seemed like they had pretty fast cars, and I know during the second stage they were actually pulling on us. So I was urging Greg to make a move when he can. That way, we could get the 1-2. But yeah, the Watsons they had me worried.
Well, hey, it's always good to keep you guys on your toes. We can't have you guys feeling so safe all of the time with guys like Clayton Hoffman on your team as well in the Thursday series. But all the same, it's been a good result, I can imagine, for the team overall. And usually you're one of those guys that likes to, go out there and go for the wins yourself. What's it like to kind of be more on the teammate end of things this time around and being the guy that's just giving the helping hand to the others?
Oh, don't get me wrong. Given a chance, I would have spun Greg in a heartbeat. But I would like to. I wanted a G&G car to win tonight, and the only way to make that possible is to stick with Greg. I know me and Greg have had run-ins in the past, but we kind of put that off to the side and made it work tonight.
You ended up making it work, and you bring it home with a 1-2 finish. So, Chris, definitely good result for you, and I can imagine you're going to be looking to go for a similar result at the Charlotte Roval. But before I let you go, anybody you'd like to shout out for that number 48 car?
Of course, Southern Spiral Pipe, ISCA, Kenny Powell, G&G, y'all in the broadcast booth that do an excellent job every week, and I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you, Chris, for being able to come on up here and join us up here in the booth. Thanks for taking the time to come out and join us, and we'll see you next week at the Roval.
Thank you, sir.
That brings up the third and final driver on the podium. JBR's Joshua Watson joins us once again up in the booth. And Joshua, third place finish. That's not a bad result at all things considered.
It's not, especially for our debut in the league and whatnot. So very happy overall. Wish we could have got the win, but sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. But overall, I think it was a very good race for our team and a good start for the league.
A good start all the same, and you were looking set to go out there and get a 1-2 finish. You guys, like Chris Johnson just said, you were pulling in stage 2, and you're even having some of the top dogs over here worried. So what happened overall with your run? I mean, I know there was that problem with the pit stops. Was that kind of the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, you need a partner here, and my brother slid through his pit stall on that last stop, and I got in and out quicker than him, and even trying to back up, I could have backed up to him, but I think, we would have been even farther back. So just kind of unfortunately had to kind of leave him and try to go out and race it my own and try to hope that we could hold him off. I knew it would be tough with two guys behind me, but, we did all we could without, causing a wreck or anything. And, that's all I could ask for.
And of course, there are many tracks yet on the schedule that are completely different beasts to Talladega, and among those is the Charlotte Roval. A variety of guys over here have mixed feelings about the track, though I think the overall consensus is it tends to be a track that people look forward to. Where does it sit in your book?
I like it. It's one of those tracks that you either love or you hate, and I do like it. It's one of the funner road courses to race on, mixing the oval with the road course and whatnot, which brings a different element to the road course racing side of it and the oval side, because you gotta get up for the bankings and whatnot and on the oval, but have the speed in the inner part of the track. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. It'll be another good test on where we stack up against everybody.
Should be a good contest indeed. And if your performance at the road course is anything like we saw today at the super speedways, I think there are big things for you coming forward in this league. Well, before I let you go, we asked you this once before. We'll ask it to you again now. Who helps you to be quick in that number 5 car?
I'd like to thank Ryko Motorsports, the whole team at JBR, my mom, my dad, my brother, both my kids, my son and daughter, my niece and nephew, DA Design Studios, and Don Adamczak. He actually did the paint scheme on this car, and just everybody for the support and backing and whatnot through everything.
And Joshua, it's been a pleasure to be able to have you out with us on a Saturday night, and hopefully we can see you competing with us more on these Saturday night races, and best of luck next week at the Roval.
Thank you, and looking forward to hopefully being up in here more with you guys.
So that is a wrap then on the drivers that had to come on up here and give us the interviews for the night. And that will be a wrap, in fact, on our broadcast. That's all for us for now for the Rock Auto 250 from the Talladega Super Speedway. Next week, we swing on down to America's home for racing, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Roval. Coming on up next, I'm Adola Rempel, bringing you all the action tonight from start to finish with Rob Meldick. And we'll have the cameras as technical director for tonight's presentation. Thank you for joining us for more action from the iRacing Stock Car Association. We'll see you all next week.